Hi everyone, Stephanie here from Lavender Rose Fabrics in Eureka, California. Today I'm going to teach you how to put together a quilted witch's hat. My previous tutorial was this hexagon block to teach you how to get your scrappy hexagon design on the quilted witch's hat. I derived that from a table center project that I figured out fit perfectly for a hat and is a cute, fun way to make it look scrappy. I actually put kits by popular request up on our Etsy store so that you can make this exact hexagon brim if you would like to. You can check out lavenderrosefabrics.com or check out our Etsy store. So the tutorial today is going to start from having this hexagon design already together or already having however you want to quilt your brim already pieced together. The templates I'm using I pulled from The Spellbound Hat by Melissa Mortensen. I did not, however, follow the pattern. I make my hats a little bit differently that I find to be easier and more user-friendly. And let's get started.
I'm using Bright Frights, available at lavenderrosefabrics.com.
If you're going to make this just as a table center table runner, then you can put batting and a backing on and quilt it down. But since we are going to turn this into a quilted witch's hat, we are going to get our flex foam and put this on top. And it's okay if these corners go off a little bit. I'm just saving foam that way because they're going to get cut off. They're going to get cut off anyway. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quilt this down to my flex foam. I usually like to use a zigzag stitch because I feel like it looks kind of like a spider web, but it's totally up to you. You can stitch in the ditch or zigzag. You just want to quilt this down and attach it to the foam. Okay, so here's my hexagon all quilted down to the foam. You can see my stitch lines back there. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my template down on the hexagon where I want it and go ahead and cut it out. And there is my brim. Okay, so for my cone for this project, I want to use this piece of a panel. So I have my template here. This part right here is going to sit right in the front of your hat. So I think I'm going to scoot it up to about there because I would like this guy to sit smack dab in the middle of it. So I'm going to have to be adding some scraps. So now I've kind of cut around my template and you can see I need to fill in these areas. So I'm probably going to take this and slide it down here so that I have the right shape I need. Once you get your fabric pieced together so that it fills the template, then you are going to quilt it down. I like to use fusible felt or fusible fleece for the cone. I'm probably not going to do too much in the middle on this one because I like how the ghosts look just by themselves. And so the next step is going to be to place your template on here and cut it out. There we go. So this is how my cone is going to look. So I'm going to fold it in half and sew along this straight line. Okay, so once you sew it, then you flip it, and here is my cone. So then you get out your rim and decide where you want it to sit. If you want it to sit, you know, in the middle, or if you want it to sit on a line, depending on wherever you want this to sit. And that is going to be marked as your front. So you're going to want to mark your hat in quarters. So see, I have the fold lines and quarters here.
And then you're going to be marking your cone in quarters as well. I usually do it from the sew line across and then line that up here and mark my 4/4. And that way, whenever you get ready to pin this on here, you're going to line the lines up on this side here. See, there's that line and there's that line. So you can see the lines. There's one on here and one on here. So I'm going to go through here and line them up and put a clip. Then I'm going to go across here and do the other side. Line this line up with my seam. And then I'll come here, line this line up with this line. If you skip this step, it is a lot harder to get it to evenly go together. And then those two lines. Now it's definitely worthwhile to go through and kind of clip these. I put at least 2 in between and make sure that they're all lined up. Keep in mind these are round, so they're going to have to be able to shift slightly when you're sewing it. As far as you have to kind of shift the rim as you're sewing it so you don't end up with big ripples. All right, so now I'm going to take this to my machine and I'm going to sew all the way around here. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing with the liner. You're going to cut out the same template. And for the cone, you are going to sew down this straight side here, just like we did with the top. But I like to leave about this much space open because that is where we're going to flip it later. So you're going to stitch this down and this down, and then mark your 4/4 just like we did on the other side, and line them up, pin them, and put them together exactly how we did with the top. Next, you're going to put the liner on top of the hat and pin all the way around, or use clips, and you're going to sew all the way around and then flip it through this hole right here. So then I recommend sticking your hand in the hole and checking all your seams, pushing all your seams out. And then once you're happy with them, then you're going to go ahead and stitch the hole closed. And I usually take it over to the iron and iron both sides, the top and bottom, and get it nice and crispy and how I want it. And then you're going to go and do a top stitch all the way around it, and that'll be your final step. And there we have it. Top stitch down, and I'm all done.
Well, that's it for my tutorial on how to make your own quilted witch's hat. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what you make. Make sure and tag me in your creations. You can stop by Lavender Rose Fabrics in Eureka, California, Monday through Friday from 12 to 4, or shop 24/7 on our website, lavenderrosefabrics.com. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween and have a great day.